Welcome to STEM School. Factor theorem. If f of x is a polynomial and substitute x equals beta, which gives a 0 remainder that implies that f of beta, because I've replaced x with beta, will be equal to 0. That implies that x minus beta, because I moved the beta from the right to the left, or take away beta from both sides, is a factor of f of x. So to be a factor of f of x, if you substitute that value into the f of x and you get 0, that's a factor. Question 1. So this is an example now. Question 1 says, use the factor theorem, which is the one above here, to show that x minus 2 is a factor of this function. Well, in order to do that, we need to show that x minus 2 is a factor. So that obviously equal to 0. That's what we need to do. X minus 2 is 0, and therefore x equals to 2. So we need to substitute x equals to 2. So we then say f of x, we know what f of x is, x cubed minus 5x squared plus x plus 10. So if I then do f of 2, that meant I'm replacing x with 2 here. So that will be 2 cubed minus 2 squared plus 2 plus 10. And that should give 2 cubed is 8 minus 2 squared is 4. 4 times 5 is 20 plus 2 plus 10. 20. So I got 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 plus 10 is 20 minus 20, and that gives 0. So f of 2 is 0. Therefore, x minus 2 is a factor of x cubed minus 5x squared plus x plus 10. Question 2. X plus 1 and x minus 3 are factors of fx equals x cubed plus bx plus c. Use the factor theorem to find the values of b and c coefficients. Yes, c is also a coefficient of x power 0. So the first thing we need to do here is we know that because x plus 1 is a factor, that means it's equal to 0. It's a factor because we get 0 when we put. So therefore, x equals minus 1 is a factor. So if we put minus 1 into here, we'll get 0. So we get our first equation. So that's what I think we need to do first, is to put minus 1 in there. So we will f of minus 1 will be equal to minus 1 cube minus, so that's plus b minus 1 times minus 1 plus c, and that will give minus 1, because minus 1 cube is minus 1, which is because it's odd. If it's even, it will be plus 1. Then minus 1 times b is minus b plus c. And don't forget, this f of minus 1 is 0 because it's a factor. So that will be equal to 0. So that's our first equation. Multiply both sides by minus 1, for instance. We could get b minus c plus 1 equal to 0. So that's because f of minus 1 should be 0 if it's a factor. The second one is x minus 3 is a factor, so that equals 0, which means x equals 3. So you move the 3 to the other side. And now we want to do f of 3. Again, that will be 0. So that will be 3 cubed plus b times 3 plus c. And that should give 27 plus 3b plus c. And that should be equal to 0 too. So I could rewrite that as, we got two equations, equation 1, equation 2. So I've got b minus c plus 1 equal to 0, and I've got 3b plus c plus 27 equal to 0. I can solve these two equations by adding them together, because I will be eliminating c, because that's plus minus c and plus c will be 0. If you draw a line, b plus 3b is 4b, minus c plus c is 0, and I got plus 1 plus 27 is 28, and that equal to 0. So 4b will be equal to minus 28, and that implies b equal to minus 28 over 4, b equal to minus 7. If b is minus 7, and I know that b minus c plus 1 equal to 0, so I can find c. C will be equal to, so move c to the other side, b plus 1. That implies that c equals minus 7 plus 1. Minus 7 plus 1 equals minus 6. So c is minus 6. And so if we write the equation as it should be, which is now f of x equals to x cubed, b is minus 7, so that will be minus 7x, and c is minus 6, and that's the function. Question 3. Show that 2x plus 1 is a factor of f of x equals 2x cubed minus 3x squared plus 4x plus 3. If it's a factor, we have to set it to 0. 2x plus 1 equal to 0, and that implies that 2x equals minus 1, x equals minus 1 over 2. So minus our half is what we need to test if it's a factor. So we need to plug it. So we need to find f of minus a half And then that will tell us if it's a factor. In this case, we will do 2 minus a half cube minus 3 into bracket minus a half squared plus 4 minus a half plus 3. So now what we need to do is, this is 2 times, now minus 1 to power 3 is minus 1. 2 to power 3 is 8, so minus 1 over 8. So that's what we're timesing together. That's times. Minus 3 times, now minus 1 squared is 1 over 2 squared is 4. Minus 4 times minus a half is minus 2 plus 3. So that will be minus 2 over 8, which is minus a quarter, and minus 3 over 4, that's 3 times 1 over 4, minus 2 plus 3. Right, so what we need to do is try and make them the same denominator. So this is 2 over 1, and that's 3 over 1. So minus 1 over 4, that's 1, minus 3 over 4, minus 8 over 4, plus 12 over 4. Because I have common denominator 4, plus 12 minus 8 is plus 4, plus 4 minus 4, 0. So that would be 0. So f of minus a half is 0. Therefore, 2x plus 1 is a factor of f of x.